These are centers in northern Rakhine State where Myanmar says repatriating Rohingya refugees will stay temporarily before being resettled. More than 700,000 stateless Rohingya Muslims are in refugee camps in Bangladesh after fleeing Myanmar's Rakhine State following a counterinsurgency campaign. Now Myanmar officials say it's up to Bangladesh to help with the process of repatriating thousands of verified refugees.
This is dependent on the other country's side whether this will happen or not, but we must be ready from our side.
But there are concerns in the international community that repatriates will be stuck in these centers or something similar for the long term. This is what essentially happened in central Rakhine State, where the homes of more than 120,000 Rohingya were destroyed in riots in 2012. For 6 years, they've been living in IDP camps that were supposed to be temporary.
You know, when Rohingya look at the situation back in Burma, when they look at, what would we be going back to, they're looking at the situation of these IDPs who, these internally displaced persons are essentially being held in a big sort of ghetto.
Right now, the conditions are not in place for refugee returns to Myanmar to be dignified, safe.
Humanitarian aid groups and the UN do not want to be drawn into supporting a whole new set of long-term camps in Rakhine State.
According to a leaked document reported by Reuters, the United Nations Refugee Agency will not give humanitarian aid to Rohingya who repatriate to Myanmar if they are placed in camps, unless it's clear these camps will be temporary.
The refugees in Bangladesh fled Myanmar in response to a military crackdown after attacks by Rohingya insurgents on security outposts. United Nations investigators accuse Myanmar's army of genocidal intent, accusations the military denies. Repatriation is supposed to be voluntary. The Myanmar government met with Rohingya refugees, telling them that repatriates will return to humane conditions. But many Rohingya are not convinced.
We don't believe the Myanmar government because they are saying one thing and doing another thing.
There are competing narratives, with the United Nations warning that repatriating refugees could be in danger. But the Myanmar government says they'll be safe. Dave Grunebaum, CGTN, Yangon.